I recently put up a video before leading up into this conversation, and I asked kind of the community, if you could ask Tucker Carlson anything, what would you ask? And I thought it would be questions about maybe the economy or the direction of the country, or maybe even UFOs, because you had touched that and kind of a topic that people are thinking about. Maybe it was about the wars and all these things, all these pending issues that we're told we care about, the border, World War III, New World Order.
Yeah, big
And
issues.
and all of these questions that I got, I thought this would be kind of what people are thinking about. Do you know what the most important question that I got over 3,000 comments, DMs, messages, text messages saying, ask him this. Do you know what that question was?
No.
What can we do to help? And I was shocked by that because for sure I thought people would want to know what can we do? I mean, about issues that we talk about. People
Right.
don't care about the issues we talk about. People want to get involved. People are looking,
Yes.
we accuse Americans for being selfish. But when times are tough and they see destruction happening in real time, people are selfless.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
was the most, I mean, over 50% of the comments was ask Tucker, what can we do? What can we do at the grassroots? How do we get involved?
I've been thinking so deeply about that because I feel the same way. And people are always like, "Oh, you do so much." I haven't done anything. I've just sort of sat in my barn and talked into a camera. So I feel the same frustration. Like, what can you do? And and I'm not, giving a theology lesson here or anything like that. But I would recommend to everybody the book of Proverbs, which is like I don't think really read apart from really religious people reading it. You certainly don't need to be a religious person to read Proverbs. It's in the Hebrew Bible, in the Old Testament, as Christians say, and it's just a remarkable series of aphorisms, almost like bumper stickers of true things from traditionally believed from Solomon, the wisest king in history. But one of them is I've never kind of gotten out of my mind, and I'm paraphrasing. I'll probably get it wrong, but it's right around Psalm 20 in that area. It says, effectively, the tongue, your words, hold the power of life and death. And I really believe that. I think words are the most important thing. Of course, I use words for a living, so I have an interest in saying that, but I think it's objectively true. When you tell the truth out loud, everything changes. You change. You become a lot stronger. People can feel the strength emanating from you. But it also changes things. You change other people's minds. You become a force when you decide to tell the truth, really the truth. And also about yourself and in your personal life, just be an honest person. That kind of honesty. If you see something, if you're at work, and they're like, well, and they'll dress it up. It's DEI or affirmative action or diversity or sensitivity or whatever. They have all these euphemisms for racism. But if you just say, I'm totally opposed to that, and this needs to be a colorblind meritocracy or it won't exist anymore, this country. Saying that at work is enough to kind of cause an explosion. The number one, and you alluded to this in your intro, the number one thing that the right that we need to preserve is the right of free speech. The number one right they would like to take from us before our guns, which is telling. They're more afraid of our words than our guns, and they have right to be, reason to be. They want to make you be quiet. And so not being quiet, and by the way, I don't think it's a license to be nasty or rude. You don't need to be. The most effective moral leaders in history were not nasty or rude. They didn't shout. They just spoke the plain, unadorned truth. They spoke it clearly, and they spoke it without fear. And I think if people do that at scale, whatever their party affiliation, no matter who they voted for, like, no, this is wrong, and no, I'm not going to go along with it. If they'd done that during COVID, no, you can't force people to take a drug they don't want. Our body, our choice. Like, there's some truth in that. We have bodily autonomy, or else we're slaves, of course. You can brand a slave, you can kill a slave, you can do whatever you want to a slave. You can't do that to someone who you consider fully human, who's a citizen. And we just have to act like we're fully human, and we're citizens. We're free men. And if you act like that, you become it. That is true. It's true for everything, by the way. What is it? Fake it till you make it? Is that the phrase that people use? Like, if you want to become something, act like you are that thing, and you will grow into it. And so let's start by acting like we're free, like actually free. Say what you think, not to offend people for its own sake. I don't think that's a virtue, but just to be honest all the time. And if you act that way, wow, I mean, everything changes. You change. Your relationships with other people change. I think they get stronger, and you inspire the people around you to do it. That's what you can do. And everyone's like, oh, we need to get this guy elected or that guy elected. Yeah, it's important. Government power is really important. But ultimately, government power reflects, bigger forces, in my opinion, over time anyway. And so change the consensus in the country, one person at a time, by acting like you're free, without embarrassment, without shame. That works.